We've pulled together the top 10 questions we receive most frequently, and Debbie is here to answer them and go through them with us now. First of all, how long will it take to get my invitations once I order them?
When an order comes into us, we proof it, and if we have any questions or concerns, we contact the customer right away. If not, then we go ahead and submit it. Once it's submitted, it takes about 2 or 3 days to be processed. It is proofed on the other end as well, so if there are any questions, then we contact the customer, which will take a little extra time, but normally only 2 or 3 days to process the order in-house. Shipping will depend on where you're located. These invitations ship from Massachusetts. We pay for ground shipping, but you could always expedite it to anything up to overnight if you really need them right away.
Great. Number 2, will someone proof my order to make sure that I've done everything correctly? I've never done this before, and I'm a little bit uneasy about proper etiquette.
You and every other bride, it seems. Yeah, we definitely, we proof it, as I mentioned, when we get the order. And once we think it's perfect, we send it on to our printer, and there are proofers on the other end as well who will proofread it, and they will contact us if they see any red flags, anything they think is amiss. And so it really goes through 2 sets of proofing before it actually goes to print.
Very thorough. Mm-hmm. Number 3, can I get a printed proof of my order before it's printed?
You can. Now, we do offer a virtual online proof where you can see everything yourself as you're creating it. And most people are fine with that, but if you feel more comfortable with seeing an actual typeset proof, we can do that for a nominal fee. We can have a proof emailed to you. If some brides want to have a printed press proof, we call it, where we actually print on the invitation in the ink color and the font that you choose, and we can do that as well. There is a charge for that, but if it makes you feel better, we can definitely do that for you. It takes a couple days to get it proofed, and then it's sent out by first-class mail.
Great. Question 4, how far in advance should I send out my invitation?
Well, there's 2 schools of thought on that. You'll hear anywhere from 4 to 6 to 6 to 8. We tend to go to encourage brides to get everything ready 6 to 8 weeks ahead of time, especially if you're going to have out-of-town guests or if you're having a destination wedding where your guests are going to have to make travel plans. You may have a block of hotel rooms you've reserved, and there may be a deadline, for that information to be transferred to them. So we recommend at least 6 weeks in advance to send out.
Better to be sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Question number 6. You have so many lovely invitations. Do you have a catalog that you can send me?
We do get that question a lot. We do have a lot of invitations, and because of that, unfortunately, it would be cost prohibitive to create a paper catalog. So our supplier has not provided that for us. However, they do offer to send free invitations, free samples of any of our invitations, and they request that we keep the request down to 3 per customer, just so we can keep it a free service. But once a customer's narrowed their search, we strongly recommend you request samples, and that way you can I say taste it, you can feel it, you can see up close and personal exactly what it's going to look like, and that's really better than a catalog anyway. So it's best just to browse our online catalog and then ask for some samples.
Great advice.
Mm-hmm.
Question 7. What payment methods do you accept, and what shipping methods do you use?
Well, we accept pretty much everything: the Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, and we also can take a check by fax or phone. And as far as the shipping methods, we really prefer UPS. One reason is they come several times a day, and they even will pick up right at closing. So if an order doesn't get finished until towards the end of the day, it can still go out that same day. We can ship FedEx. We occasionally get customers also who ask, because they have a FedEx account, can we ship FedEx? We can, but they pick up early in the day, so you might actually lose a day by going FedEx. And then we also can use express mail for some of our international orders. That's sometimes a little less expensive than UPS. So those 3 methods we can use, but UPS really is very reliable, and that's our first choice.
Excellent. Question 8, is your site secure?
Absolutely. When you get to the order page, it jumps to a secure server. You'll notice the URL changes from HTTP to HTTPS. And you'll also notice on the bottom right corner there's a padlock that's closed, and that's another indication that it is a secure server. And we also, our site is also monitored daily by McAfee Secure, who bought out HackerSafe. Mm-hmm. And so we get a report every day. They scan our site, and they send us a report if they see any vulnerabilities for us to attend to.
Very secure. Mm-hmm. Question 9, what kind of printing method do you use? And do you have the raised printing?
We do. Everything we do is the raised printing. It's called thermography. And even the return address on the envelopes is done in thermography. It's beautiful. It really adds a real touch of class, I think, far above the flat printing.
And finally, do you accept international orders?
Well, our supplier does ship to some countries, but not all of them. The best thing to do if you're interested in your international customer is to just email us and ask us, and we can let you know if you are a country that we can provide service for. The main thing is it is expensive, and what we generally like to do is find out from the customer what items they're interested in, how many pieces they're going to need, and their address, and then we can get a shipping quote to them if in fact it is a country we can ship to. And so they can decide if they want to go ahead with it, because I'll be right up front with you, it is expensive to ship internationally. And then the cost that we have to charge is just to get it shipped to the customer, but at their end there may be customs, brokerage fees, taxes, which we have no control over, and we really can't give them an idea of what that's going to be. They might know if they order from the U.S. a lot, but that's one reason why our supplier doesn't like to do a lot of international orders. But I know we can ship to Canada, Great Britain, Ireland. Those are 3 countries I know we have, but there are a number of other ones. So if the customer's interested, the best thing is just send us an email and we'll let you know.
That's great. That's some wonderful information. Thank you so much, Debbie.
You're very welcome.